I think that you have to also do a time audit on yourself because I can say I'm
Yeah.
really busy because I am really fucking busy. If you just listen to the beginning of this podcast or if you watch my stories, I've been pivoting all the fucking, like right after I end this podcast, I'm literally grabbing my son, getting in the fucking car, and we have to drive to where he needs to go. Literally right after
Yeah.
I get off
And I
this.
hear you goes, my day after this,
Do you
after we
know?
squeeze this in, I'm booked
Jana?
until 4:30 tonight, you know? So yeah.
Yeah, and I had to make sure I got my workout early in this morning. And so I plan my week accordingly and been having to pivot. So when I have to pivot, I look at my day, where can I fit this in? Because it's a non-negotiable for me, right? Never miss twice. That's my rule. James Clear. Miss one day of the workout, don't miss the next day.
Yeah.
Never miss twice. So you really have to do a time audit on yourself. If this is a priority, you make it a priority. You get your workouts in the days that you schedule them. And if you can't, you figure out when you can. Welcome to Cut the Crap with Beth and Matt, the world's #1 no bullshit health and fitness podcast.
Are you ready to cut the crap with your diet and exercise, get strong as fuck, and build a healthy relationship with food? Then you've come to the right place.
Let's go. If you'd like to support us in the podcast, join our Patreon where you get exclusive content, which consists of monthly workouts you can do at home or at the gym, monthly challenges that are either strength, habit, or mindset based, and access to over 100 plus low-calorie, high-protein, family-friendly meals. These are all designed by a professional chef who is certified in nutrition. These recipes are already in MyFitnessPal for easy fucking tracking. New recipes are also added each week.
We believe that fitness is for everyone, so this is our way of getting you started on your health and fitness journey at a price most everyone can afford. So what the fuck are you waiting for? We'll see you in the Patreon. All right, we are back. Nerdle, we're taking a deep breath. We're getting started here. Running around a little crazy this morning, huh?
Pivot, bitches.
Pivot, bitches. That's
It is.
just the way the cookie crumbles.
You know,
Sometimes.
life throws you a bunch of shit at once. It's testing you, right? And
Yeah. I like
don't
it. I
give
mean, you had a plan. You had a plan to pivot, and then you had to make a plan to pivot to your pivots. And that's just the reality sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
So listen, y'all, it's real. This is real life shit, you know?
Yeah.
You can have the perfectly laid plans. We made this perfectly laid plan for us to get this podcast in first thing this morning. We wanted to make sure we had our walks in and got, took care of ourselves this morning. And we did, but, it didn't go as according to plan, right? So
Yeah.
running around maybe a little bit with your ass on fire a little bit, trying to
A
figure it
little.
out as your perfectly laid plans deteriorated in front of you, and then your pivots also weren't working out too well. But hey, proud of you, Nerdle.
What's funny is when you have a pivot plan and then your pivot plan, fucking both of them bail on you, right? And you're
You
like,
just
all right,
quit,
well,
Nerdle. You should
I'm gonna
just
fuck
quit.
it. I'm,
Nothing's
you know,
going
I,
according to plan.
right? Like I should just throw up my hands, and be like, fuck it.
Well, that's the reality. Is so many fucking people do that.
They do. They do.
Oh, my plans are falling apart. I'm just gonna just fuck it. Today's a lost cause. I can't do anything.
Yeah.
That's the bullshit that gets people stuck.
Exactly.
Yes.
So
And we're not about that life here. So good
no.
job, Nerdle.
Thanks, Nerdle.
I'm happy and excited to be chatting with you here today.
On my pivot day.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're recording on a Thursday. We normally record on a Wednesday. We had a nice little just chat, you and I, yesterday.
Yep.
And here we are today. So should we
All
just
right.
get into it today? Because we've got some good
we got some questions to answer. We're doing a Q&A, an anonymous Q&A, and then we asked, we have a Cut the Crap Facebook page, and we asked our Cut the Crap peeps some questions too. We're going to bounce back and forth between Cut the Crap page and our anonymous Q&A. And I haven't even opened these anonymous Q&A, so it's going to be like a fucking.
We're going in blind. You ever seen
like
that
a little
clip?
present?
You ever seen that clip of Bill O'Reilly from like back in the 90s or 2000s? Nothing was going according to plan. Like his script wasn't working. They was trying to record a segment of news, and he's like, "Fuck it, we'll do it live."
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
So yeah.
Okay.
I think we love doing these Q&A podcasts, and I know our listeners, our community loves doing them too. And like you mentioned, some of these questions are coming from our Facebook group for Cut the Crap. We're coming up on like 800 members in the Facebook group, which is really cool.
I know, it's amazing. And you guys, we're coming up on our 200th episode.
Yeah, next week.
How fucking crazy is that? Is this episode 199?
This is gonna be 199. Yeah.
Wow.
I can't believe it. I mean, we've been
doing
this
believe it.
When did we even start? 2022, I think, right? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I guess if we did 200 episodes, yeah, that makes sense. Actually, 2021 is when we fucking started.
Wow.
Wow. So we're gonna plan something fun. We don't know exactly what we're going to
We
do
don't
yet.
know yet, but we
We
will. We'll
we
have
started talking
something.
about yesterday.
Yeah.
We do have an amazing, exciting guest coming up in a couple of weeks. Should we drop that real quick?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it's
Spen-
confirmed.
Dr. Spencer Nadolsky, who is an obesity specialist. He's been on our bucket list. He's been a
Since the
bucket list
beginning.
guest. We're so excited to talk to him because he is like, out of anybody that I know, probably knows the most about GLP-1 medications,
I would agree with that.
um, what they should be used for, who should be using them, side effects, all that fun stuff. Like he knows all of that. And so we're very excited to be talking about everything GLP-1 and obesity on
Yeah.
that episode. So
So we're gonna
pumped
come prepared to knock that one out. We're gonna have some good questions for him.
yeah.
He's an awesome dude. That's gonna be like episode 201. So we're just missing our 200th episode
I
with him, which it
know.
almost worked out. We didn't plan it that way. So
Yeah,
looking forward to that. So shall we get to it?
we shall.
All right, you wanna get the ball rolling here?
Sure.
You have one pulled
Okay.
up?
Follow up to weight gain after a cut. I want you to know I'm a huge supporter, and I didn't mean the previous question disrespectfully. I greatly admire what you're doing.
Oh, is this a
Okay, so
two-parter?
maybe this must be a two-parter. So, and then I click down the bottom. This might be too personal, but I was wondering how you will navigate life after the bikini photo shoot.
Hmm.
I'm guessing you won't stay in such a strict deficit and you would expect to gain some weight. Yep. I don't think I would be able to handle that mentally after being in such a successful, incredible cut.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. I
so
think you addressed this recently on your stories
this
or
is
on
a
your
good question.
It is.
I think it's important for people to understand that what I'm doing is literally like think of like a bodybuilder prepping for a show. Okay. They do that for that one show. Then they immediately reverse back to normal weight to start building and, repairing their, everything that's been going on because they've been depleted, right? That is not a place you live. And I'm fully prepared. And I know that. I have a coach
This
that
is
is
your
also,
plan.
this is my plan with a coach that is also guiding me. So it's not like I'm going to end this and start binge eating. There's going to be an exit plan. And there's 4 or 5 of us doing it together with our coach. So I do plan to gain weight back. This is the reality of this steep deficit. I am not going to remain dick skin thin. It is not healthy. Okay. Especially hormonally, not healthy.
We were talking about that yesterday,
Metabolically,
Myrtle.
not healthy. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I expect it to be mentally challenging. I'm not going to say it's probably going to be easy,
Mhm.
because seeing abs and stuff, that's going to be really fucking cool. But it's also something that is just for the moment.
But you know what else is gonna be cool? Seeing your energy improve and the way you feel improve.
Yes, yes, because right now I feel like shit. Okay,
Yeah,
I mean,
I think that's really
not
important for
not
people to understand.
completely like shit, but I'm
But it's fucking hard
hungry.
for you.
Dude, I'm fucking doing so many steps. Like I want to become back to normal death where, I don't have to be eating the same fucking thing for 30, 60 days in a row. I don't have to be getting 16,000 steps a day and a gallon of water and whatever it's very regimented and it's
Mhm.
not for the fucking weak.
And I really want people to understand here, and we've talked about this so much on our podcast, is your final weight, your goal weight after your weight loss phase, most likely isn't gonna be your maintenance weight.
No,
And there's reasons for that.
right.
The main one of the biggest reasons is because you're simply eating more food. And
Yeah.
more food means more water retention, more
Hmm.
sodium, more
Yeah.
carbohydrates. You're pumping your muscles up with glycogen storages again. You're getting
Hmm.
fucking depleted, right?
Yeah.
And that's one of those expectations that people need to come to accept because that is the reality. And we try to
Right.
fight against that and try to maintain that goal weight forever. And that
Hmm.
keeps everybody stuck in this diet phase, this diet
Yeah.
cycle, this diet mindset. Always got to be in a calorie deficit, always doing something drastic to keep
Right.
that weight off. When in reality, you just need to learn how to be in maintenance and accept
Mhm.
the fact that you might gain 5 to 10 pounds after you reach that point.
Yeah. And also, my maintenance will be different, but as I increase with weight, my maintenance will increase.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
what you have to understand as well. That yes, my maintenance will be lower because I have a lower body weight. That's just what happens. That's a normal process.
Yeah.
Okay. But as I increase weight, my maintenance level will increase as well.
Right. And
So,
And to take this from a different angle too, not related to weight loss, but for me personally, and like for like, let's talk about running, right? Like runners, when preparing for like a half marathon or a marathon, you could
Mhm.
equate that to being in a calorie deficit phase, right? If you're doing a marathon training block, it'd be 16 to 20 weeks or something like that. That's going to be
Mhm.
really intense. You're going to be ramping up your activity levels, ramping up your running, everything like that. Your body's going to be taking a beating over the course of that. Just like with you, it could be hormonal changes, metabolic changes, the way you're feeling. Your body's depleted. Same with
Yeah.
running and training. Well, the marathon is the payoff, right? That's when you reach in this situation,
Mhm.
the marathon that you've been training for that block, that's like reaching your weight loss goal. But you can't
Yeah.
maintain that level of training forever.
No.
Some people do and can, like crazy
Mhm.
ultra athletes and shit like that. But most
Right.
people, you need to take a break after that. That's what
Yeah.
I did after my last half marathon block. I had to take a training a block, a period about a month of just resting,
Mhm.
letting my body heal, feel better before I can
Yeah.
start ramping up activity again.
Yeah.
You can't just constantly be going balls to the wall,
No.
you
No.
need to rest, you need to recover, and you need to learn how to maintain.
And then, as for what you're speaking about, there is a come down from that as well. Like you're so hyped up. You've been training. You ran this marathon, half marathon. You did it, and then you're done. And then you're like, okay,
Oh my god,
now,
yes.
do
I
you know what I'm saying?
yes.
You're like,
The
now
post-race
what? Like,
blues.
it's the post race blues. You no longer have this thing that you're chasing,
And
and
I talked about that, I think, a little bit on here
I
too.
think
Like,
so.
I was or maybe it was on my social media, but I was, like, feeling like, "Oh, wow, my goal, I accomplished it. Now I don't have a direction to go," right?
Right.
I don't have this goal that I'm working towards anymore. So that's when I had to change and pivot my goal to, like, "Okay, right now I gotta just get my body feeling better and get my
Yes.
body feeling right
Yes.
again."
So you have to like be in that mindset of like, this is a one-time thing, right? In the moment. And when it ends, it's okay. You
And
take that
this
rest that you need and you get back to your normal self. And
and
then
this is why we talk
you
about
know,
being intentional with your calorie deficit and being in a diet
yeah.
phase. You shouldn't like get the fuck in and get the fuck out. Stop
Yeah.
fucking around, get dialed in, track your shit if you need to, log your food, increase your
Mhm.
activity levels. Stop fucking around with this all or nothing thinking because you're just extending the diet phase and you're just extending your own misery.
Yeah,
That's one of the
exactly.
biggest things we see when people are trying to lose weight, right? They're just constantly trying to be in a calorie deficit, but they're not doing
Yeah.
all the things they need to. So they're just extending the pain and misery,
Mhm.
suffering.
Right.
Great. That's a good question to start with.
Yes, that's a
That
good
was
question. Thanks for asking, and I hope this answers a lot of you. I'm sure a lot of you are thinking the same thing. So,
yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay, so this one is from our Facebook group for Cut the Crap. By the way, our Facebook group for Cut the Crap, you can become a member of that if you're a member of our Patreon. So join our Patreon. We've been getting some new members here this last couple of weeks, probably because we just talked about it on the podcast last week. We don't talk about it
especially
very often.
I've been talking about strength training and a lot of you guys don't know where to start, you don't know what to do. This is probably the easiest thing. $5 a month.
$5 a month.
$5 a month. We have MAP programs, things for the gym and at home. So you have both options, okay?
Yeah.
Bands, dumbbells, or gym equipment.
Hmm.
Don't let that stop you. You have somewhere to start. There is no coaching here. It is self-guided, but it is $5 a month with periodized programming based off
Yes.
progressive overload. So it's a good place to start.
It is, and our members see amazing results from it. Shout out to
Yeah.
like to Amy, right? Amy is a
Yeah.
prime example. I mean, she's been crushing the last couple of years
We've
following our
have people in
programming.
there that have been there for a couple years doing our workouts.
Yeah,
So completely worth it. We have our community and we do fun stuff. So
for sure. Okay, cool. So, question time then. This one is, like I said, from the Facebook group. This one's from Natalie. I will just use first names here. She
okay.
said, I am curious as to your opinion of the drink Celsius. I discovered you guys one day accidentally stumbling across the diet soda TikTok, which I loved. I love that. Thank you. That's amazing. I secretly agreed that it can't be that bad in moderation, but I catch a lot of crap for drinking diet soda. Of course you do.
Hmm.
I've been following you ever since. Here recently in the last year, I've been drinking Celsius. I enjoy energy. Energy drinks have a bad rep. This is supposed to be a healthy one. When I do research on it, most negative thing I see over and over is the caffeine content. Would you
Mm.
say get rid of it? I would love to hear your opinion, and I value your advice. Yeah, Celsius for some reason gets more hate than other energy drinks, I think.
It's so interesting to
Yeah,
me.
she nailed it right on the head though, moderation. Now,
Yeah. Yeah.
the main concern there is the caffeine, right? So
Hmm.
you wanna moderate your caffeine intake especially. Energy drinks are totally fine in moderation. I'm not saying have them all day every day. I wouldn't even recommend maybe having one a day. I don't know what moderation looks like for everybody. 1 a day would be absolutely fine. I mean, you could have multiple a day, to be completely honest, and it would be fine. Okay, as Nerdle's holding up her Ghost energy drink that she's one of her
Yeah.
emotional drink beverages.
Yeah, well, that's a really good question because I even question my own caffeine intake with this Ghost energy that I've recently
How much
discovered.
caffeine's in the Ghost though?
This is about 200 milligrams.
Okay, yeah.
Wait. Let me see. 200 milligrams of natural caffeine, it says.
Yes, and Celsius also contains 200 milligrams of caffeine per 12-ounce can, which is the equivalent of a 8 ounces of coffee has 80 to 100 milligrams. So that's like 2 cups of coffee. A Monster has 160 milligrams. So moderate your caffeine, and be mindful when you're drinking it too. I think this is one thing where people get wrong, and I know this. I see this in clients a lot, especially when they're struggling to sleep and get a good night's sleep.
Yeah,
they're having these energy drinks later in the day.
I have mine super early.
You need to cut off your time that you're having caffeine. Like caffeine has what, a 5 or 6 hour half life. So you drink a coffee or a Celsius for a pre workout at 5 p.m. and you're trying to get to bed at 9 p.m. That caffeine's still going to be running through your body.
You're fucked. You're fucked then. I honestly, since starting to drink Ghost, I do have one a day right now. It has been helping me with my energy levels during this cut. Has been a savior to me. To be honest, it's a lifeline for me right now. I don't know if I'll continue after, but I like having a half to one a day. Sometimes I don't even finish it, and I have it in the morning, and the energy kind of lasts all throughout the day for me. It hasn't affected my sleep. My heart rate during my sleep is still low. So my body seems to be okay with this. I think you need to just pay attention to how you feel, how your sleep is, things like that.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're drinking Celsius and you're also drinking coffee and things like that, excuse me, it just had a little burp from my cold brew here, my emotional sport bev here today. The main concern is the caffeine content. So moderate your caffeine content. As I'm saying that, I've actually been very, very intentional with reducing my caffeine content. Most days I don't even have coffee anymore. I've got this cold brew right now to shoot the shit here with Nerdle to record the podcast because I enjoy it. So just moderate your caffeine intake. 1 a day would be fine for you.
Yeah, for sure. It's okay.
How you're feeling. Yeah, it's
I think Dr. Joey Zundel has also done something about energy drinks because there's been some things about energy drinks cause cancer, and he was actually
he's a cancer researcher, biologist.
Yeah, and he went on Fox News, and actually, I don't think they expected him. Yeah, they asked him about the energy drinks and cancer, and he told them it does not cause cancer in healthy individuals. They were like, no, they didn't. He sent me the clip. It's like, oh my God. He's like, I don't think I'll
Can you send it to me?
Yeah, he's like, I don't think I'll ever fucking be on this show again.
Yeah.
So
because they only want an echo chamber. They only want to hear what.
Yeah. He's like, it doesn't cause cancer. They didn't really like that. They said something about like if you already have like lymphoma or I'll send you the
Yeah, please do. Send it to me, and then we could even put it in the notes of the show.
Oh yeah,
that's true. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
So, that was a great question. On to the next one. You got one ready?
Yeah, let's see.
Hells yeah. Okay.
I love how you two work together and listen to your podcast every week. Thank you. I wish I knew who this is. What do you each like best about each other?
Oh my God.
I love this question.
Oh, holy fuck.
Okay. You know what? Matt's like,
are we gonna make each other cry?
Probably. Matt's become one of my closest friends. He's like a family. He's like a brother. I like Matt because he's honest. He has integrity. We just kind of mesh well together. It's almost like we're like soul brother and sister because when Matt's thinking something, I'm about ready to text it. And when he texts him, like, oh my God, I'm like literally in your chat, ready to send the same fucking thing. So we just have this connection in that way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Damn it, Nerdle, I agree. You have become my best friend and big sister to me, somebody I look up to. And just your unconditional, like this, like, I don't know how to say this, unconditional love and support, like you're you're just such a good person for support. You've really been there for me in some of my toughest times, and you give good advice, and you're just real. You'll tell me, you'll check me if I need checked. You'll console me if I need consoled. and you're just caring, and you wear your heart on your sleeve. You're an empath, and you can recognize when I'm struggling, even before maybe I'm even recognizing that I'm struggling.
Yeah.
And like you said, we're always on the same page too. We're usually thinking the same thing, and we have a blast when we're together. It's like it's like we've been lifelong best friends. Like it's like we've been best friends our entire lives when we get together, and I'm truly grateful for your friendship.
Me
And
too.
you're, as to be part of the family, honestly, too. And that's
Yeah,
really for me too, is family is so important to me. And
for
the fact
real.
that I've been welcomed into your family. Johnny is like a nephew to me,
Right.
and the fact that you guys gave me the nicknames that you give your family members and everything, too. It's just been
Yeah.
incredible. Thank you,
Thanks.
Myrtle.
We also communicate really well, which is, I think, key to having a good friendship or any kind of relationship with anybody.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I agree.
I
Okay,
like
that
I
was a
like
great
that
question.
question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, cool.
Thanks.
This one comes from our Facebook group as well, from Tracy. She said, "How to tell yourself that this isn't negotiable, you have to work out and stick with it." Okay, so if you're telling yourself it's non-negotiable, do you fucking mean that, or are you just bullshitting yourself, first and foremost?
Hmm.
It's gotta be something that really means something to you, honestly. Like, it needs to align with your goals and with the person that who you wanna be, not necessarily the person that you are right now. You're probably trying to change a lot of bad habits and behaviors that no longer serve you. So that's the reality of it, is like, "Hey, this is a non-negotiable because not doing this thing got me to where I am right now, and I'm done with feeling like this. I'm done with being this person. I'm done being somebody that doesn't show up for themselves. I'm done being the person that isn't honest about my food intake, about how my relationship with food. It's about becoming the person that you want to be. It's truly needs to be a non-negotiable. And we
Hmm.
can't bullshit ourselves about what non-negotiables are. Non-negotiables aren't something like, "Oh, I'm gonna do them 50% of the time." It's like, "No, I'm gonna
Yeah.
fucking do this all the time." I
Yeah.
mean,
When you choose a non-negotiable, it's usually something that you know you can stick to and that you should stick to.
yes, let's name a non-negotiable for ourselves really quickly. For me, it's a walk. Daily fucking walk. If I haven't gotten anything else in that day, if I haven't got my strength training, my run in, it's at least a walk. That is my non-negotiable, and that's served me well over the last, I would say, 15 years now since I started my weight loss journey back in 2010 when my son was born.
Hmm.
It's that daily walk, because it keeps the momentum going, it keeps me engaged, and it's the least I can do. It's the least I can do.
Hmm. Yeah.
What about yourself?
I would say mine are walks and my workouts. Those are things that are non-negotiable for me. Yeah, I may have to switch the days around, but they
Uh-huh.
always get done.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Short, sweet, to the point.
Hmm. Okay.
Next.
I know lots of coaches hire coaches to assist with their personal goals, and I'm just curious of the thought behind it.
Okay.
Okay,
Sure.
good question. So I think, all coaches need coaches. This is also how we learn as well. And,
It's a growth mindset.
there's coaches for every type of thing. So what I'm doing currently is like a bikini bodybuilding prep. I don't and never have worked with anyone. This is not my wheelhouse. I work with general population, fat loss mindset, things like that. Not bodybuilding people. That's a
Yeah.
whole other fucking ball game. So of course I'm going to hire a coach, and that just so happens to be the coach on my team who knows her shit. And so from doing this with her, I'm also learning, but also she's keeping me accountable. Because why do I want to hold myself accountable every single fucking day? I mean, I do, but do you know what I'm saying? Also having someone check in with me and sending
It's
my stats.
somebody to be objective too.
Yeah, see, like shine the flashlight on things I may not see, just like with you guys.
Yes.
I'm a human too. Like, I don't want to write my own workouts. I don't,
We do
because I
that for our
wouldn't.
clients. We don't wanna do that for
I want
ourselves.
someone else to write them for me, reduce the friction for myself. I show up, I do them. Someone
Yeah.
checks my form, tells me you should be going up, go down, whatever. I think it's important. I think everyone should hire a coach at least once in their life
Yes.
to learn some things. And
If you're interested in growth and learning, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
because all coaches have different ways that they do things, and you can always take something away from that.
Yes.
you know?
That's a healthy mindset to have.
Yeah, I've
To always
hired
learn and grow.
many a coaches since becoming a coach for different reasons.
Sure,
I
me
know
too.
like for instance, Jordan Syatt hired Alec. I think he hired, some people to help him with his mobility or, running. And, there's all different coaches for different things.
Yeah.
You hire them so you can learn yourself because
I hired a running coach last year.
yeah, you
Myself.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, she didn't coach me personally, but I followed her running programming and I learned a fuck
right.
ton from that, you know?
Exactly.
Mhm.
Because when, there's coaches that specialize in certain things.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
it's like, why would I want to go to the dentist for a bodybuilding show? You think of it like that.
Sure.
Do you know what I'm
Sure.
saying? Like you have to go to someone that knows what they're doing.
And I think of the most successful people in the world, they all have mentors and
Yeah,
coaches, somebody to guide
exactly.
them.
Yeah.
It's a non-negotiable. It
Uh,
really is. I mean, non-negotiables, right? But it
yeah.
really is. If you wanna become the best version of yourself and you have that growth mindset,
Mhm.
it's about you don't know everything. Like, if you can be honest with yourself and say, "I know I don't know everything," okay, good. Then that's when, because nobody knows everything.
No.
The coach fills in the void, fills in the gaps. Like you said,
Mhm.
shines the light on things that you weren't aware of.
Yeah.
They have different ways of doing things, different systems, different processes. There's one way to lose fat, right? Calorie deficit, but there's many ways to get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is a good way of kind of looking at it. It's about continuing to be a better person and growing. We're
Mhm.
here to help you all instill a growth mindset, not a fixed mindset. A fixed mindset is like, this is the way it is. I can't learn anything else.
Right.
I can do it all on my own. That's a very negative way of looking at things.
Yeah. Oh, there's people that know more than me, and I'm going to learn from those people that know more than me. That's how I become a better coach as well, as hiring
Yes.
other people for things that I know nothing about, and then I learn about them. And that
Mhm.
makes me a smarter person.
Mhm. For sure. Agreed.
I will
100%.
always be hiring a coach. I will always have a coach to guide me.
Agreed. Agreed. Awesome. Good question. My turn. This one is from Danielle in the Facebook group. How about the best way to navigate your workout routine when you're overstressed and short on time, but have goals to achieve? Well, we were kind of just talking about this before we started the show about pivoting, doing what you're able to do. I think in many situations, it's about doing something rather than nothing, right?
Mhm.
Something is always going to be better than nothing. So you can scale your workout back if you need to. If your workout normally takes you 60 minutes, but you only have 30, scale your workout back in a way that makes sense for you. Maybe you just do half the sets that day. Or maybe you take a more not a proactive, but a more intense approach where you're like, okay, I'm just going to go and I'm going to do supersets today. I'm just going to do big gigantic sets and eliminate the rest essentially. Then there's also maybe a traditional workout strength training isn't the best thing for you that day. Maybe it's just going on a walk instead, pivoting and going for a walk, finding something that still gets you closer to your goal. Like we just said, there's many ways to get to your goal. Obviously, if you want to get stronger, build muscle, you need to be hitting the gym consistently and strength training.
Mhm.
But there's 7 days a week, right? You're probably in the gym 3 or 4 days a week tops for
Mhm.
most people. That's really all they need.
Yeah.
That
Even
gives you
2.
flexibility. Even 2, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Eh,
mean, call myself out here. I'm strength training 2 days a week right now, So I'm not calling myself out, but that's what I'm doing
yeah.
right now. And
Mhm.
that works for me in my current schedule, my current life, and my current stressors.
Mhm. Yeah. I think that you have to also do a time audit on yourself because I can say I'm
Yeah.
really busy because I am really fucking busy. If you just listen to the beginning of this podcast or if you watch my stories, I've been pivoting all the fucking like right after I end this podcast, I'm literally grabbing my son, getting in the fucking car, and we have to drive to where he needs to go. Literally right after
Yeah.
I get off
And I
this.
hear you, 'cause my day after this,
Do you
after we
know?
squeeze this in, I'm booked
Jenna?
until 4:30 tonight, So, yeah.
Yeah, and I had to make sure I got my workout early in this morning, and so I plan my week accordingly, and been having to pivot, so when I have to pivot, I look at my day, "Where can I fit this in?" Because it's a non-negotiable for me, right? Never miss twice. That's my rule. James Clear. Miss one day of the workout, don't miss the next day.
Yeah.
Never miss twice. So you really have to do a time audit on yourself. If this is a priority, you make it a priority, you get your workouts in the days that you schedule them, and if you can't, you figure out when you can.
Yeah. I agree, and I like the time audit, looking at your schedule overall on a weekly basis, sitting down Sunday
Mhm.
night, right, and planning out your workouts for the week, looking for potential roadblocks. That's one thing I highly recommend is Plan that it's a proactive approach. Look at your week ahead, plan it ahead. What is going to get in my way? That like
Yeah.
you this morning, Beth, you had plans to pivot, right? Because you knew that you were going to have some roadblocks. So how can I navigate these roadblocks and still get my workout in, get something in? Maybe some days that means I'm going to go to the gym, or I'm just going to work out at home instead of going to the gym too. So it's important to have that flexibility, which is why we love our Patreon workouts, because we have those home and gym workout versions. Some days you're just going to get your main workout in. You're just going to get squats in, and that's fucking okay.
Yeah. And then if you actually, because I think a lot of people, they don't have their workouts programmed. So you don't really even know how long they take because they're always different. You're fucking around and finding out every single day. You don't have a plan. So I have a plan. I know how long my workouts are going to be every single time. So if you know that, you can plan accordingly. If you have a coach, you can have them write you workouts for your schedule. I only have 30 minutes a day, twice a week. Great. Let's get what we can in those 30 minutes and make sure you fucking crush what we have programmed in those 30 minutes. Yeah. So I think that's where also having a coach comes into play.
For sure. And like you said, like the question said, when you're overstressed, the important thing is that eliminate the friction. That's what we need to be looking at. Eliminate that friction. And how you do that by planning these things out, by having a backup plan, by pivoting, reducing the stress. Because if you're stressing about your workouts, it's only going to, it's counterintuitive in a way.
Yeah.
So be mindful, be intentional, have a backup plan, and go from there.
Yeah. And I would also say that actually fitting in those workouts will help with your stress.
For sure.
Instead of stressing about fitting them in because you're stressed, make sure you fit them in so it'll help you with your stress.
Yeah. Agreed.
Movement is medicine, okay?
Damn right.
If I didn't get my workout in this morning, I would be an angry bitch. Right now, I'm like, you know what? I got them in. Cool. I can fucking do this day.
Yeah. And I got my walk in this morning for 30 minutes. So.
Yep.
Cool. Your turn.
Let's see. How far ahead do you plan out your meals? Well, I eat the same thing every day currently, and usually mostly, but especially now. I pre-log my meals the day before, and most everything that I need is already in the fridge, ready to go. I just have to heat it up. So Sunday is like, I literally know I'm going to eat oatmeal every day. I'm going to have yogurt, so I have my yogurt ready. Easy.
That's why it's important to have those foundational foods.
You just have the shit ready in your fridge. You don't have to have multifaceted, insane fancy meals all the time. Boring works. It's easy. You don't, like I said, like make it easy for yourself. Yeah. You don't have to fucking have fancy ass meals every day.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a couple of weeks ago you mentioned the less amount of ingredients, the easier it's going to be, right? And I can that's what the foundational foods are all about. Like my breakfast lately that I've been obsessing with has been doing 4 eggs. I've been doing a cinnamon raisin bagel. And then I've been doing some grapes with it as a side for my breakfast. And the bagel is Thomas bagel. It's got like 7 grams of protein, like 4 grams of fiber. So it's decent choice.
Yeah.
On top of the 4 eggs. So I'm getting over 25 grams of protein. I'm getting a decent amount of fiber with the grapes in the bagel. And that's been a foundational food for me this past week for me for lunch. I've been doing my chicken parm, so I prepped up some chicken parm.
Oh, I saw that pic. Oh my God, that's so good.
It's so good.
Yum.
So yeah, it's about having foundational foods.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right. My turn then, huh? This one's from Lori in the Facebook group. How do you tell the hunger from an intentional calorie deficit from the hunger from chronic undereating? I've been working on my relationship with food, and I'm starting to consider a small deficit, and I'm not sure I can tell the difference between that and straight up ignoring my body. Okay, this is a really great question, and this kind of falls in line with like my way of thinking with like mindful eating and things like that. What I would recommend here, Lori, is a food and mood journal and checking in with your hunger before you eat. So logging a food and mood journal. So that's something like, okay, it's 8 a.m. in the morning. Here's what I'm doing. Here's my emotional state. Here's my mental state, and I'm on a 7 on the hunger scale. One of those types of things. And I know she mentioned intentional calorie deficit versus just chronic under dieting. In a way, I mean, or chronically dieting, in a way, they're kind of the same too, right? Because the end result is still, if you've been chronically dieting, you've still been in a calorie deficit. I don't know. This is an interesting question. It's just, you have to apply more mindfulness to it. If you know you've been chronically dieting. So that's when you need to just take a step back and give yourself a period where you're just living in maintenance. And maybe you're logging your food just to log so you can get awareness to how many calories you are eating and making sure that you're not chronically dieting and chronically under eating. This is another good use case for why tracking can be beneficial. It's not just for
Mm-hmm.
fat loss. It can be also to make sure that you're eating enough food
Yeah.
and that you're not chronically under eating. If you're chronically dieting, that's going to show up in a lot of ways. You're going to be chronically fatigued. You're going to be more stressed. You're not going to be sleeping well. You're going to be crankier. There's all kinds of things where that could be going wrong with chronically dieting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't know. Does that make sense?
it does.
Yeah. Do you have anything to add to that?
I think what you said is great. Yeah, I think tracking for maintenance and getting out of that chronic dieting mindset is really, it's not going to get you far.
Right. So the important here is in that question, she said straight up, I can't tell a difference between a small deficit and straight up ignoring my body. That's where the intention is important, right? So that's where tracking can be very beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
And with a small deficit, I'm glad you said small deficit because that means you're going to give yourself as much food as possible. And that's really what we want you to do, right? When you're going into a fat loss phase, give yourself as much as food as possible while still making results. So a period
Mm-hmm.
of tracking can really benefit you there.
Yeah.
Hmm. Awesome.
All right.
Awesome.
Restarting with a fresh take, now understanding caloric deficit. I'm getting in the protein, fiber, and reduced fat. Hit 10K steps most days and add in things like rebounding, core work, and free weights. How long until I start seeing results? Thinking I'm doing something wrong. Also, thank you. Okay. It takes what it takes.
Takes
We
as long
don't
as it
put
takes.
we don't put a timeline on it, right? You're getting a lot of movement in, which is great. Okay. So for me, when you say you're understanding caloric deficit, are you tracking calories? Are you making sure that you are in that deficit? Because nutrition is the driver of fat loss. So remember that. You're doing all those things, but also pay a lot of more attention in that kitchen and what you're doing in there. Okay. It could take up to a year or more. Don't give yourself 2 months, 3 months. Think of like a good year or two.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
don't know where you're at in your fitness journey, but massive results, they take a long time.
Instead
And
of
this
looking at
and
it as
not
3 months, it's 3 years, right?
don't look at it like do this because it's good for you. It's about your health. You can't control the outcome, but you can control your actions. So without action, you have nothing.
Hmm.
So keep taking action because when you keep taking action, you will, for without a shadow of a doubt, see results.
And it's like also how are we measuring progress too, right? What metrics are we using to measure
Right.
progress?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, so that's a whole nother can of worms there.
I would like to argue about like how long until I start seeing results. Like you said, Matt, like you're probably seeing results now from getting those 10,000 steps a day, for getting more movement in. Like, how do you feel? How's your sleep?
Your energy
Um,
levels are going to improve
you
first. You're
know,
going to, yeah, yeah. The body change happens much later down the road.
take photos, take measurements. All those people don't want to take photos. If you don't take photos, what do you have to compare? Because the scale is not the best metric. Okay. Your body could be changing and the scale may not reflect that. Like
See
I
it all the
always
time in our
say,
clients, right?
all the time. You could be having body recomposition. Your body may be changing. Your clothes might be fitting looser, but you're like, the scale's not moving. Nothing's happening, but there is.
Yeah. My client Anna, she just posted a really cool progress picture the other day. I say this, she's only quote unquote only lost about 5 pounds or so in the
Uh
last,
huh.
but she's lost a lot of body fat and built a lot of muscle, and she's getting
Wow.
stronger, faster, more increasing her endurance, right? And her
Yep.
body measurements are changing. Her progress pictures are changing. The scale doesn't necessarily show up in a way that most people would
Mm-hmm.
expect it to,
Yeah.
but things are fucking happening
Yep.
for sure.
Absolutely.
Do we have time for another one here,
Yeah.
Nurgle?
Let's do one more, and then I'm going to have to pop off and
Okay, cool. Really
on to the
quickly,
next.
I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to mention something about Cure Nutrition here really quickly
Yes,
because
they
they
have
have a
something
really
going on.
cool, really awesome sale coming up. And you mentioned something to me yesterday about how Serenity gummies have really been helping you get to sleep.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
especially now.
like
Mm-hmm.
because we were texting the other night at like 8:30 or something like that, and you're like, "Sorry, Nerdle, I passed out."
I had to remember, like Matt kept texting me, and I woke up and the next day, and I was like, "Oh, sorry, Matt."
Took my
I like
gummy
took
and I passed
I
out.
took my CBD gummy and I was like off to Mimi time. Yeah, they're very helpful with relaxation. They
Hmm.
don't make you feel anything different. I shouldn't say, just more calm.
Yeah,
It sets your body in this calm state for me to fall asleep because my thoughts can run amok like a lot of people, right?
For sure. For sure. So the deal that Cured has, and this doesn't start until June 17th. Okay. So if you're hearing this episode when it first comes out on June 13th, wait a few days. So Tuesday, June 17th through Tuesday, June 24th, their deal is you can save up to 30% and receive a free 10-pack of Serenity gummies, which is a $15 value at checkout with our code, which is CTC. So you can save up to 30% with our code, plus you get a free 10 count of Serenity gummies. So maybe you want to get some Serenity gummies, or you want to get, nightcaps to help you get to sleep better, or maybe you like the Flow gummies, which I really fucking love is the Flow gummies. My clients have been loving Flow gummies for performance. I
call them PR gummies.
PR gummies. I love that. Yeah. My client shaved off 3 minutes of her 5K block. And she's like, I mean, we can't just attribute that to gummies, but she's loving the focus that it gives her for her workouts. So yeah, check it out, y'all. curenutrition.com/CTC. That sale's running June 17th through June 24th.
Yes.
Okay. So one more question here. Let's see. There was one about IBS, but that one's going to take some time to get into. So if we do a part 2, we'll cover it on that one. This one's from Rebecca. She said, I have a super inconsistent schedule due to work travel. I may be at a hotel 3 days 1 week, then home the next, 2 days the next, etc. I get it. I've done coaching with Beth before, so I know the basics of both workout and my nutrition, but I'm struggling to stay consistent as I cannot get back into a consistent workout rhythm. What's the best way to get that habit back with the craziness of my schedule? Pivoting and
schedule those workouts.
Have workouts that you can do no matter where you're at. So it's scheduling your workouts and having that ability to pivot and scale your workouts as needed, right? So understanding, how to scale your workouts back in terms of intensity, in terms of volume, going from a gym workout to a home workout. You got to do something to keep the ball rolling for you, essentially. Whether that's a walk, that's why I really love a daily walk, is because it keeps that normalcy going for you, even when things are tough, even when you're traveling. So have those non-negotiables for that daily quality movement, and find a way to move your ass daily. That makes staying on track with your workout plan and workout routine a lot easier. So that's really it. It's finding a routine and a plan that works for you, that you can scale back, that you can do anywhere. Maybe you take resistance bands with you while you're traveling so you can get a quick 15-minute workout, superset circuit workout while you're in the hotel, your room, hotel gym, whatever it might be. There's always a way to get it done. Travel with resistance bands if you're always living on the road.
Absolutely.
For sure. All right, well, we got to wrap it up here.
Got to wrap it up.
We'll definitely do a part 2 on this. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun.
Real quick, we have our meet and greet coming up. What are we doing that July? The date again is that July 12th. RSVP to that in the notes. So
La Jolla, California, San Diego, 8 a.m. Saturday, Torrey Pines. The information is in the
We've got a good group of people already RSVP. Yes. So we'll see you there, and keep the questions coming, and we'll get to them.
Yep.
See y'all.
All right. Bye, guys.
Hope you enjoyed this episode, so why not share with a friend who needs to hear it? Send us a DM on Instagram or email us at cutthecrappod@gmail.com and join our Patreon at patreon.com/cutthecrappodcast. As always, we appreciate you and thanks for being here.